As you remember from the first part about history of the university, Tõnu just also told, and maybe also Enes, that the statistics professors at the University of Tartu in history were not just statistics professors. They had different specialities, and I think mostly they were also geography professors. So that's why, it was already like 150 years and even 200 years ago realized that actually geography needs statistics, and probably statisticians need to understand geography because things are varying not only in time but also in space, and space is what geography deals with. So I'm very happy that we have Anto Aasa from the Department of Geography to tell us about how to visualize human mobility across space and time.
Thank you. Hello. Yes, I hope to give you some hints and experiences how geographers and I, among them, are using the visualizations to analyze, to communicate our results. And yes, space is very important. Maybe for the beginning, it's always good to have definition. What is geography? Yes, we are dealing with the space. All the phenomena, more or less, are happening in space. Space can be different. It can be one room, it can be city, it can be a continent, it can be country, something else. And spatial relations are really important. So we have to describe the space. What are the options? And I remember I was a young boy, 13 years old or something, had to read a book written by Honoré de Balzac, Father Goriot, and I remember the feelings. It was so boring, it was awful, but practically pages and pages about space. Description of apartment, description of house, description of yard, and maybe this is one of the reasons I became a geographer. I thought we can do better, we need to visualize it, we have to have maps, and yes, maps very often are the main tools for geographers to visualize, to communicate the results. And maybe the content is not even so important, but it's a commuting-based map of Estonia, where the functional areas are visualized. We can see the central places, we can see the catchment areas, and we can grasp all the information immediately. The main message comes quickly, in seconds. But when we have only the table, 840 rows, it takes a week to understand. You don't pinpoint the locations on the map, so my statement is it's impossible to get a reasonable amount of information or find the message from this kind of table. We have to use maps. And history of maps is quite long. In here we can see Imago Mundi Babylonian map of the world, older than 8,000 years. But at the same time, when I started to look at the history of scientific visualizations, I was a bit surprised how new all the most traditional types of visualizations are. Okay, we can say that line charts appeared already 1,000 years ago, but the very common pie chart, the other types of very common statistical plots appeared only a bit more than 200 years ago. And the same is with maps. The typical corporate map visible in here appeared almost exactly 200 years ago. Flowchart even newer. And this kind of maps are used very, very often. But when we are speaking about the maps, we have to take into account that different spatial phenomena appear at different map scales. So we may speak about this room, we can detect mobility, we can detect some patterns. If you are sitting with somebody, maybe this is your friend. If you are sitting completely in the corner, maybe you are more introvert, and we can assume something and make some conclusions. Sometimes they are correct as well. But we can most differently see spatial phenomena, different spatial phenomena at different space scales. When we zoom in, very detailed map, this is very often so-called cadastre or detailed plan, very often used in urban planning. International level, it's more like some vision or very general abstract message. For example, blue banana of Europe, which is the urbanized zone of Europe, or the detailed plan from city of Tartu. As you can see, the amount of information is very different. Readability is very different. The way how map is communicating the message is very, very different. And let's continue with the spatial planning. I mentioned already the blue banana. Blue banana in here, the urbanized zone or area of Europe. Really simple, very clear message. At the same time, when we go to the detail plan again, the detail plan of cultural center Siuru in Tartu, the amount of information is completely different. Very many different spatial layers on top of each other. The message is not so clear. It takes time. It's much harder to follow. And some other examples as well. And sometimes when we look the detail plan maps, the result or output is awful as well. So again, too much information, too many different layers on top of each other. The main message is lost. This is in Tartu. Sorry. This is in Tartu, Riia Street, Philosophy Street corner, this new building, blockhouse building. So what you can read from this visualization, from this map, it's almost impossible. All the text is faded, readability is awful, communicative power is lost. And the same with other map. I even don't remember from which area it is, but I think you all agree it's awful. So traditions maybe are needed. How to visualize things when we look this map in here, maybe when both, we can see that two maps are next to each other. Maybe when some standards or traditions are followed, maybe the readability would be much better to understand and see what is happening. So let's think about traditions and what is common when we visualize something. In case you're familiar with Estonian geography, it's easy. You can recognize the contour of Estonia, but if you are not familiar with Estonian geography, you may start thinking very strange lake, because blue color is used to mark water bodies. Another example, what is blue, what is black? What do you think? What is blue? Water. Blue in here are roads, black are rivers. Confusing. We are not used to read this kind of visualizations. Or this map, very bad map of air temperature in Estonia someday, 15 years ago already. What's wrong with this one? color scale is reversed. Usually warm temperature, higher temperature are marked with warmer colors, orange, red, yellow, and blue is for freezing temperatures and so on. In here, it's reversed, it's confusing. First, after first glimpse, you may think that western part is much warmer than eastern part. Actually, it's vice versa. Or what is happening in here? What's the spatial phenomena in here? Elevation of Estonia. Easy. But again, completely, I don't want to say wrong, but unusual color palette. So again, it's confusing, looks awful as well. And it's not only about the maps, it's about other symbols as well. Let's take this example. Very often used, restrooms, female, male, easy, sometimes, at least in Estonia, quite often used as well. I think not too confusing. In here, it assumes that you already have some skills in Estonian language, naine, mees. In here, you must have already some basic knowledge in biology. This is elevator, same symbols, hopefully not too confusing. And in case of this sign in Estonia, actually you can see it, personal. For English people, it can be confusing as well, in my opinion. So the symbols are important in different areas, in different fields, different symbols are used, and it's, in my opinion, important to follow traditions. Then you communicate the message much faster than other ways. And it's not only about the colors or symbols. Even the presentation of spatial phenomena can be very different. In here, for example, air temperature yesterday, midday in Estonia. In here, you can see the exact observations. Traditional language, red is warmer, blue is colder. You can immediately see in where the temperature was higher. But actually, in some cases, the spatial interpolation is informative as well. But now we can ask which method to interpolate the information is correct. We have many different opportunities, some discrete neighbors, Voronoi tessellation in here, inverse weighted distance, in here some polynomial algorithm, in here Kriging both, and we see how different the outcome can be, can be. The patterns are different, especially when, for example, you compare this map and this map. It's completely different. So the method we are using can influence the visualization, obviously. Maybe back to the history, one short jump, how to visualize cities, how to visualize roads, how to visualize railroads. This is underground map of London from 1908. It's a different compared with nowadays underground maps. Can you see what's the main difference? This is the very first modern underground map. As you can see, the spatial relations are not so important. The hierarchy and sequence is the important part, and that's communicated nicely on this kind of maps. But when the functionality or the generalization or modification of the information goes too far, then we will lose the content already, or it's very hard to understand what is happening. Raise your hand who is recognizing what you can see in here. Just raise hand. Okay. Now, can you recognize what is it? Come on. Is it going better? It's a map of Europe. Map of economic spaces in Europe 400 years ago. Very strongly generalized, very strongly modified, so we are losing the content. In case you still don't recognize, this is Scandinavia, and here Italy, Spain, and so on. So is it good? Is it bad? Your decision. But in some cases, this kind of playing with visualization and changing everything has very nice results. This is obviously very well-known visualization for everybody of you. You can see everything is distorted. Space most definitely doesn't fit with the real map, but you can see the size of troops, the time, what was the weather, the meteorological conditions, and many other aspects are available. Very nice example. But when we try to visualize mobility in Estonia on the map, we have much more data, although Estonia is very small. But when we put all the people on the map and try to visualize the mobility, it looks quite messy. It's a sort of plate of spaghettis. We can see something, but it's really, it's ugly. It's not very informative and has many other problems. But when we play with the data, we filter something out. We aggregate, count number of commuters between different cities, and then visualize it. Maybe play with transparency as well, and the lines, and then the outcome, I can argue, looks much better and much more informative. Again, we can detect central places, catchment areas, and we can tell a story with the help of this kind of thematic map. But when we too much again, it's getting bad again. So the informative content is gone, and it looks beautiful maybe, but it's not informative. The main purpose of the map is gone. We can't use it to explain some spatial phenomena. Animations, of course, when you speak about space and time and people, then people are moving, and animations are very, very good to visualize the spatial patterns. And in that case, we have data from GPS. It's area of Tallinn. But the problem with GPS, as you can see and already experience, I think, you don't remember what happened 5 seconds ago. So it's too fast. Everything is blinking. One solution is to use this kind of darkening heat map under the points, so you can visualize more frequently visited areas. And people like animations. When you have presentation, I recommend to students sometimes that if you impress people, use animations, because everybody likes animations, and use factor analysis, then everybody thinks it's science. Okay, joke. Or when we play with the thematic map and layers the information we want to communicate, then we can try to bring out the main message. Let's say it's a map of problems in Estonia. Traditionally, red color is used to visualize bad things or negative emotions. Let's say it's bad. So Saaremaa, western part of Estonia is the most red. There are some darker, more blunt colors. But when we look another map, it's completely the same. Even the classes are exactly the same. I only changed a bit colors, made gray a bit darker, and made red a bit lighter. And you can see how the maps are different already, and you can see the black spots much more clearly compared with this one. And you can play easily with colors to bring or hide some information. But of course, this is a pointless map. It's just painted according to the area of municipalities in Estonia. Nothing to do with the problems. This is conference. You are sitting in here. I don't know, is it how many different presenters you have heard already, how many are coming. And when you see all the time this kind of plots, figures, it's boring. After 10 minutes, you don't remember it anymore. What was it? There was something bluish. What was the value? I don't remember. So it's revenue from beer tax in state budget in Estonia. But we would like to impress the people. We would like to be remembered. So maybe we can use some other attitude. We can change something. When we speak about beer, people maybe sometimes tend to tilt, and this kind of visualization is justified. But all the levels or heights of the bars are correct still. But readability much worse compared with this traditional way. Okay, we can use something else, but now where's the end of good taste? So I don't know. And it wasn't there. So we can speak about the chart chunk. Yes, I'm familiar with the concept of Edward Tufte's ink information ratio, but some argue that actually chart chunk is really needed. It's very good to impress, to be remembered. Otherwise, it would be just this boring, exactly the same data, but nobody will remember this one. Everybody knows this one. It's Nigel Holmes from 1982, 50 years ago, was published. And of course, this is famous, nice and good example, but at the same time, we may say we can very easily end up with really awful result. Believe me, it was physically painful to create it. So I will remove it. And I think, in my opinion, this map is really good to visualize the settlement hierarchy in Estonia, to show where are the central places, where are the catchment areas. So thank you.
Thank you very much. So are there any quick questions and comments? It look like, yes, it's if we have both time and space, it is really tricky. So it's, yeah, animation would be like one way to kind of put the time to the space. But okay, thanks again, a small souvenir.
Thank you.